Here he is. There he is. Hello, Brandon. How are you?
Good and yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much for joining us. Congrats on the win. It's been about 9 or so days since the fight. First things first, how are you feeling? Because there was some concern about your knee, but then I saw a tweet maybe saying that all is well. So how's the body feeling after that 25-minute fight against Brandon Moreno?
I mean, immediately after the fight, it felt horrible, but it's been a lot better now, recovering. I haven't been back to practice or doing anything yet. I'm just kind of letting the body heal, recover, and doing all this PT and stuff in the meanwhile.
Was that an injury that happened in the fight, or was that something that was bothering you going into the fight that just got worse?
Oh no, it happened like a minute and a half in the fight. That was something that's never happened before. It was really weird, and it was like a feeling that never went away that whole entire fight up until like the fifth round, and even after the fight, it was like something that was like, or even like the week after, like it was weird, man. I had like some weird knee problem, and yeah, there's some weird issue. I think it happened like I thought I originally missed the kick, but it like landed and maybe like my toe hit his like shin or whatever, or like his leg, like it barely landed. And I think I don't know exactly what happened, but right off the bat in the first round, my leg was shaky. It was weird. What is his name? Brandon Moreno's corner was calling it out right off the bat. God, I can't
Wow.
remember his cornerman's name, but right off the bat I was like, dude, can you be quiet for a second? Hey, let him fight for himself or something, let this man work. Because right off the bat, he's like, there's something wrong with his left knee, there's something wrong with his left leg. And like I kept shaking out. So I guess it's probably like a little obvious. But yeah, he was calling some things out right off the bat. God, do you remember his cornerman's name? I can't. The Fortis guy?
Oh,
I
Safe
cannot
Saud.
remember. Yeah, Saif Saeed. Saif Saeed was he was doing
He
a good
saw
job
it.
in the corner. Yeah, he saw it. He was doing a great job in the corner, but it was just like he's also has like a really like a loud voice that I've recognized, and I've seen corner like every week. So he was one of the few that I was like listening to his cornerman advice during the fight too, where he was calling out stuff, and I was like, all right, he's about to do this, he's about to do that.
Wow.
So me and Saif Saeed had a
Even
little connection in the corner.
even and that's different from the first time you fought Brandon because you just started working with him like less than 2 years ago. But even in that loud of an arena, you were able to hear him that well.
Yeah, and I think after like the first two rounds, the crowd died down. Like the crowd
Yeah.
died down majorly. The first round and a half, I couldn't hear anything. I only heard Saif Saeed say there's something wrong with his knee a couple times, but other than that, I didn't really hear much. I couldn't even hear my cornerman. But as like the fight went on, the crowd died down, and clearly weren't as happy as they were when the fight started.
Which is interesting because even when you got on the mic afterwards, I felt like you were trying to tell them like, "Yo, we have a connection too." It was like your situation and even Ortega's situation was like he has roots in Mexico, but it was weird that it was like, they want, obviously Yair's a big star, Moreno's a big star, but any other fight, any other circumstance, they're probably all in on you and rooting for you as well. Did you feel like you had to do that, or did that just kind of come out in the moment?
This is actually one of the first times, and I feel like you could kind of see it. Is I didn't have anything planned on the mic. Normally, I have like
Hmm.
something written out or an idea of which direction I was going to aim or whatever. I just didn't know. I didn't know what direction to aim if I wanted to, and that was like a little bit of the issue. So I had zero plans on what I was going to say on the mic, and I even tried to walk away early, and then they pulled me back in and kept asking me questions, and yeah, so so once I start talking, man, I take that mic away from me, man. Yeah,
No,
so I
I
always
thought it
usually
was
have like something.
amazing. I thought
Yeah,
you
it
didn't
was
like
all
it. I
right.
thought it was passionate. It was from the heart. I really liked it.
Yeah, yeah. I started talking a little shit. Yeah, so I mean, it was cool, man. I definitely like the first part that I said, and I wish I could have just ended it at that. But it is what it is, and like I said, don't hand me a mic when I'm emotional because I'm not. I've never been really good with my words, and then once I start going, I go. So yeah, that was one of those times where I was like, dang, I should have just walked away.
It's funny to hear your reaction to that because, I won't pretend like I know every single one of your post-fight interviews off the top of my head, but I was like, that's the best version of you that we've seen. To see like the real sort of raw emotional side of you. That's the part that people can connect with and really want to get behind and root for. So I was like, oh man, I loved it. Kudos to you for like opening up like that in that moment. I know you just went through a 25-minute war and you're probably exhausted and like your head is all over the place. But like, I say more of that, man. Don't try to squash that part of you.
Dial it down. Okay, all right. I'll
Yeah.
lean into it a little bit. Yeah. So we'll see what happens, man. I felt like, like I said, originally, like, I knew I was gonna probably give a little bit of love to the Mexico crowd, but I didn't know where I was going after that, and I didn't know if I was gonna call out Pantoja or if I should have called out Pantoja, but it kind of just happened, kind of just happened in the moment, and a lot of it was just in the moment stuff. So just kind of going from there, which maybe is what I should be doing anyways.
Did you think you had done enough to win the fight before they announced the scorecards?
Oh, absolutely. I for sure felt like it. I felt like anything that he was doing was to kind of just slow me down. And I feel like, and like I was the first round too. Like the first round, I didn't know I still don't even know what their game plan was. Like I was trying to guess that whole entire fight. I'm like, what were they like trying to accomplish? Because he was moving around a lot, not throwing much, not engaging much, and it was just kind of like me chasing him a little bit that first round. But I thought from like second, third, fourth, and fifth round, I thought I was taking over pretty much the whole entire time. And like, once again, just to bring the crowd involved, it's like nobody was really going for me in that whole entire arena besides like the four people that I brought. And it was just like, after the first round, it started to get silent. And then by the time the fifth round came up until the last like 10 seconds, it was pretty much dead quiet. Even when they read the announcements, when you see someone get robbed, you hear everybody in the arena boo. It was like, even though they're all against me, there wasn't much booing after they gave me the decision. There was like a little here and there, but it wasn't much. It was more quiet than anything.
By the way, any part of your family? I know you said you have like roots, but like parents, grandparents, or cousins, uncle, whatever, from Mexico, like actually born in Mexico, to the best of your knowledge?
Nothing that close. Nothing that
Okay.
close. Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious, like if you were like first generation American, that would have made the whole thing even a little bit funnier.
Yeah. No, none of that, man. I'm like third generation or something, even maybe even further.
Okay. Did anything about Moreno surprise you?
Yeah, just his all around approach. Like I didn't know what his approach was. I still kind of like I just kind of left me guessing still on what their game plan was. Because even
Hmm.
like say Saeed in the corner, the first round when he's moving around circles, like good job. And I'm like, wait, like is this what you guys want to do? So I kind of wonder if it was like to conserve energy or to like, like just because we're high, we have 5 rounds and we're high up in altitude. If he's trying to conserve energy, take a little bit more precautious approach and all that stuff is maybe kind of what I thought. But other than that, like I just didn't know their game plan. I still don't really know what their game plan was in that fight.
What did you and Pantoja say to each other after? I saw you were kind of like faking the mean mugging, and then, but like, were there any words exchanged at all?
Yeah, there's worries. Honestly, if I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, I just told them I was like, because me and Pantoja get along. I was just like, pretend I'm talking shit to you or something right now. So if I'm being real, that's exactly what I said to him. He walked up to me and I was like, hey, pretend I'm talking shit to you or something. And then I walked away. I was like, I'll see you soon, motherfucker. And we both
Yeah,
laughed and walked away. Yeah. So
it's kind of hard to
I
hate
mean,
that guy,
damn.
right?
Yeah. And I really like I have a lot of respect for him. I feel like me and him I've gotten along in the past, and like anytime I've ever had a conversation with him, I've actually really got along with him. So I really gotta like turn up my hate or whatever it is to try to promote this fight and try to get back into the driver's seat. But it's just it wouldn't be authentic. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not that authentic.
So we talked about this before, but I really, I mean, if they are going to have him at 301, it feels like you're in the driver's seat now. Do you have any more insight as to what they're going to do with him next?
No, I have no clue, man. I have no clue. I feel like I did everything that I could do. Is I went and took the short notice against Moreno, the number one contender. I feel like if he would have won that fight, they were going to for surely give it to him no matter what. That being said, is I don't know if the situation changes because of who I am and who Moreno is.
So, given the knee situation, if they did ask you to fight on May 4th, that's actually exactly 2 months from today. Today's March 4th. Would that even be possible?
Yeah. I'll be fine. I'll be cleared by then. So I'll be fine. I'll be cleared by then, and I could still get in shape and all that other good stuff to make it to make it a raw dog victory.
What could you tell me if you're able to, like, what exactly is the issue with the knee?
MCL. I fucked up my
Oh,
MCL and then yeah. Which I didn't tear it bad or anything. Like I have nothing that's gonna keep me out for months. So that was like the quick little like on the note that they put in there is like I have to take a few weeks off and I have to PT it and I have to do some physical therapy for sure. But as far as like long term damage and being out for a long time, it's not anything that I have to do. So I'll be perfectly ready to go by 301 and let my body heal up a little bit. I was gonna have to do that anyways, but give myself enough time to make weight and go put together a game plan that'll beat Pantoja.
would it be fair to say that if it's not a title fight, like you're probably not rushing back to fight into you injured your MCL? Like it would just be for that you would want to come back
Yeah,
this
it
quickly?
would probably just be just for that fight, or if anything, that's going to get me right there. I wouldn't, I wouldn't put my body at risk unless it's anything for but a title fight.
Okay, and so this past weekend we had Muhammad Mokaev fight. He's been quite vocal about wanting a title shot. He's undefeated. First off, what I saw the back and forth a little bit on Twitter, but what did you think of his performance?
Well, what do you think of his performance? I thought it was, I mean, yeah, I mean, whatever. He's undefeated. Maybe he beat Alex Perez, maybe not. He could be Alex Perez's only win over a current UFC fighter right now. That being said, I don't think it warrants a title fight. Like, I don't think it warranted him winning a title fight. I didn't think it was very impressive. After the first round, it was just seemed like he was done. He was done for. He was, yeah. It is what it is, bro. I just didn't think it was that impressive. If you're getting my opinion from me.
Sure, I saw the tweet. This is y'all's boy. Who are you referring to there with the laughing emoji? Who are you talking? Whose boy?
Muhammad Mokaev. This
Yeah,
is who you
no,
guys
no,
are
I know
going
you were
for.
talking about
This
Mackay,
is
but
who.
who's the y'all? Who are you talking about? Like, do you feel like Twitter, the MMA fans are trying to push him to be the number one contender? Is that what you're referring to?
Just whoever, man. Just whoever who wants to let that take direction towards him is just. If this is your guys' boy, like oh man, anytime I watch that kid fight, I'm just like, this shit is lame. Like this is boring, you know. And I don't know. It is what it is. Like he started off the first round like kind of strong or whatever. But that being said, it's just like I don't know. I always forget by the time he fights again, I always just forget what he brings to the table, and then I watch him like, oh yeah, this kid's fucking boring. Like
Do you?
I
I
got that
mean,
amnesia.
he's quite confident. Do you think against like the top, because I have to admit, just like the back and forth, I was like, damn, I wouldn't mind seeing a Brandon Royval versus Muhammad Mokaev fight. How do you think that goes?
I think it goes very well. I think I love that matchup. Like I said, that's not a fight I would ever turn down. Like that fight has never been offered to me. That being said, is me and him are both trying to take aim at the championship or at the title fight. So it's like that's not if one of us is gonna get it, then so be it. But I'm like where we've been hyping up a fight for about a year now. So when that time comes, if one of us has a belt or one of us doesn't have a belt, if that's a 5 round fight, he's dead.
If they go in a different direction or want to say Pantoja or whatever and say you versus Muhammad, would take it now? You have no problem with that?
Yeah, I probably would wait longer than 2 months though. I'd probably
Yeah.
wait longer than that the given time.
Does that have to be a 25-minute fight? Would you
It
prefer
doesn't
it,
have
I
to be.
guess is the better way to say like,
I'd prefer to fight anybody in a 25-minute fight. I prefer to fight, like anybody in this division in a 25-minute fight. I'm very confident in. I'm very confident in the matchup with any of these guys, any of the top dudes in the 25-minute fight or in a no time limit fight. It's just like those are the fights that like interest me the most because 15 minutes you can nullify a position for 15 minutes. You can squeeze out 2 rounds for sure, and then maybe hold me down. I've never been like the strongest fighter, so I have been nullified before. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's most of my losses. 25 minutes is really hard to do.
he gets a lot of attention, and currently, as of right this second, not in the top five. Maybe that changes tomorrow. Do you think that he's worthy of it? Why do you think he gets so much attention?
I feel like he's claiming he has the biggest one of the biggest religions that's with him. He claims it's two small countries, and it's like I feel like that's a lot of hype behind it. He's young, he's undefeated. There's a lot of good things that he does do. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, he's been talking shit since he's entered the UFC. Since he's entered the UFC, I feel like I've had this kid in my DMs. So I mean, it's just one of those things that it's like he's confident. He talks a lot of shit. I feel like the flyweight division is pretty like bashful in a sense. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I feel like the only shit I've ever talked to was the two guys that have talked shit to me, which is Amir Albazi and Muhammad Mokaev. But it's like other than that, it's like I've never had anybody else reach out to me, talk shit, call me out, any of that other thing besides those two. So it's like the flyweight division is pretty respectful for the most part, and even like a guy like Steve Erceg, where he calls out Moreno, it's like super respectful way, and I feel like the division just, full of gentlemen, full of nice little gentlemen, I guess. I don't really know how to like describe it, but that being said, is I feel like he pretty much entered the spot and started talking shit right away. I guess Cody Durden talks a lot of shit, but like, I guess, who's paying attention to that?
Right. And just to be clear, he's talking smack in your DMs. He's sending it directly to you.
For sure. I have a bunch of DMs of Muhammad Mokaev. If you scroll
What's
down,
he saying?
like,
What's he writing?
I don't know. I think he's called me a bitch, saying I'm ducking him. Just a bunch of shit. Just a bunch of shit. He hasn't wrote anything recently, but I've gotten a lot of DMs from Muhammad Mokaev since he's been in the UFC. I'm gonna be honest.
Are you responding back, or are you just leaving him on scene?
Every once in a while, I'll respond back like publicly. Like I'll respond back publicly, but it's just like I'm not gonna just entertain me and him in the DMs, or I'm not gonna like turn down a title fight to go fight Muhammad Mokaev. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. No, I get it. Well, I mean, now I kind of want to see it even more, if I'm being honest. That would be a fun one. You mentioned Erceg. Well, no, I just meaning you guys fighting each other. I don't need to see the DMs. Erceg though, nice KO. You impressed with him?
Yeah, I've been impressed with him since before the UFC. Since he got to the UFC, I thought Erceg's been nothing but impressive since he's been here. I think he took a short notice against I can't remember who he fought in the short notice fight, but he did amazing right off the bat, and he's doing some cool things. And like I said, just knocking out Matt. Now I can't remember who he beat right before then, but I feel like he's been nothing but impressive since he's been in the UFC.
Dvorak and Costa. First it was Dvorak, then it was Alessandro Costa. That he beat in his last fight, but this was his first knockout in the UFC, and a vicious one. Incredible power to win like that. Against a pretty tough guy.
He's a really technical fighter too. Yeah, and Matt Snell's an exciting fighter. I felt like their first round was pretty cool, and then the second round he kind of just delivered that knockout, and just like this kid's good. He means business, and I feel like he's gonna find himself in the top 5 really quick.
Of the guys right now in the top 5, obviously yourself excluded because you obviously believe in yourself. Who do you think gives Pantoja the toughest test? Who do you think is the worst matchup for him?
I feel like it'll be like a weird matchup, like a Mateus Nikolai or something like that, where it's like he's not engaging, circling the cage, like landing points and like all this stuff. It's like I feel like even a guy like Mateus Nikolai will be like a weird fight for like a lot of these dudes, but like a Brandon Moreno, someone like that, like a weirder matchup would be really hard for Pantoja. But like a Mateus Nikolai, where he's engaging, will throw 2 punches, will win the points, and then move around. And you got to find him for the rest of the round and stuff like that. I feel like those are like weird matchups that would probably be hard for Pantoja to fight.
Back to Mexico, did you go to a lucha event? A, B, did you eat any really good food?
I did eat some good food. I had to get out of there, actually. There was some weirdness that happened at the hotel. There was like fights breaking out when I was leaving the arena. People were like trying to like scream, try to get at me and stuff like that. So it was just like a situation where like, my knee was really hurt. And it just wasn't like, I wasn't in a situation to protect my family or my girlfriend or anything like that. So it was just like, I'll go back to Denver where I'm loved and respected a little bit there. You know what I'm saying? So
did you feel uncomfortable?
I didn't want to walk. Yeah. I just didn't want to walk around Mexico City not knowing who's with me, who's against me, and then also be like vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm over here limping around, and like you don't know what situation's gonna arise or not gonna arise. And like I felt like Moreno said some weird shit on your show too. Like when he was doing that, he's like he's in Mexico City. Brandon Royval going to get killed, and I do that weird goofy laugh, and he was just like, that shit's weird. It's weird to say, you know what I'm saying? But that being said, is like when we got to the hotel, they had to bring me up the back stairs because there was fights breaking out. There's a bunch of controversy and like just drunken people
Damn.
after fights. So yeah, they had to bring me up the back way. They had to do a bunch of stuff. So it was like by the time that morning flight arrived, it was just like I decided to just get my family out of there and just
Yeah.
go home, and we'll celebrate the victory at home.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but glad you're okay. And by the way, I remember one of the first times we spoke, and correct me if I'm wrong, I remember you saying like, I'm just kind of married to the game. I have my dog, and that's pretty much it. Now you're spoken for. Now you've got a girl. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I had a girl. I just keep it on the low.
Okay. Maybe she didn't like
I was
that
kind
comment.
of yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. She'll like the Raw Dog nickname. There's a lot that goes into this bullshit that she probably hates.
Yes, I can understand why. By the way, last time we spoke, you were pumped about Haney Garcia. What do you make of Ryan Garcia? Have you seen any of this stuff over the past
Yeah, bro.
week?
I don't know, man. I'm kind of concerned about the dude, man. And
Yeah.
maybe I don't know. I don't know if he's doing gimmicks or anything, but it could be that fucking Oscar De La Hoya hanging out with Oscar a little too much. I don't know what it is, but there's some definitely cause of concern with all that being said, and I bet you the betting lines are shifting like crazy. Did you see? And I don't know if this fight got signed, but Frank Martin versus Tank.
Yeah. It's not
You
100%
think
yet, but it's rumored.
you think that he has a chance?
Frank Martin.
Yeah, he's one of my
I mean,
favorites
I
to
think
watch, man.
he's legit. He's great, but against Tank, man, I don't know. Tank is just so
I
freaking
love all
good.
these. I love all the like the little southpaw like movers, like a Lomo, like Boots, like when Boots fight southpaw, or like a
Hmm.
Frank Martin, how much they move, they cut those angles, all that cool stuff. It'd be interesting to see, but yeah, Tank's just a whole different animal, and I don't know. I don't know about that matchup necessarily, but it's just cool to see Frank kind of get a shot at a star all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Like everything from 130 to 147, or even 135 to 140, it's just incredible right now. I just wish these guys would fight a little bit more often. Like we're getting like Tank once a year. Crawford, who knows when he's going to fight again? Does he fight this summer? I just wish they were a little bit more active. I saw Terrence this weekend. That was pretty damn cool. I'm interested. Since you love boxing so much, did you ever consider boxing over MMA?
Yeah, actually, when I first started MMA, I was like only interested in boxing. I
Huh.
went into an MMA gym and I was like dead set on because these dudes like when they put me in the advanced class and I was sparring with these guys, they would all throw kicks and shit. And I was remember like I'm like, who the fuck throws kicks in a fight? Like be a man and throw punches. And it wasn't until like I first started sparring where like I was getting leg kicked a bunch and all this other stuff where I was like, oh, this is like actually a legit move. And like I remember like one of my first couple of times sparring, I was young. I'd be like 16, but I couldn't walk up the stairs because how bad they were beating up my legs. I would hit like a wide stance and then I would duck my head and dip. Like I was trying to be a boxer, but it was not working against knees and kicks and stuff like that. And yeah, those are like some of my first like lessons of like dipping my head. I was dipping into head kicks and then leaving my like a wide stance boxing stance. I was getting my leg beat up. And yeah, I remember I was dead set when I first started. I was like, I'm gonna be a boxer, and maybe if I go, I'll choke some people out with jujitsu. But it was like I was more dead set on trying to box these guys, and it was really quickly where I realized I'm like, oh, this isn't gonna work out the way I thought it was going to.
Well, you have figured it out very well, my man. Huge win for you. You're back on the winning track, very much in the mix. I think ranked number one right now in the UFC rankings as far as flyweights are concerned. So I hope the knee doesn't give you many problems. And if we see you in 2 months, that would be great. If it's a little longer, great as well. But congrats on the win. Well done on how you've handled everything. You're a pro out there, and it's a pleasure to see you grow as a fighter and a personality as well. So keep it up, Brandon. Thank you as always for the time, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. Thank you very much, bro. Have a good day.
You
All right,
too.
bye.
There he is, Brandon Royval, Raw Dog. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it very much. Hey, if you like this video, give us the old thumbs up. Subscribe as well. You could get many more of these videos on the channel, so please do that. We would love you forever if you did so.